Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in for this week's WorthWhile Spotlight, where the goal of this is to shine light on people, learn about their journeys, and maybe learn something from somebody else in their experience. Before we get started, I want to give a huge shout out to Visit Columbia for being our sponsor and making this come to life, as well as making the city come to life. You know, their website's huge on promoting local artists, local events, new businesses, everything that falls under that tree. So you can learn more about them at visitcolumbiatn.com. And I want to get started. I want to thank my my third guest on here, WorthWhile Spotlight, Makky Kaylor.
Nice to be here with you, brother.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. If you want to just give a little brief description about like kind of what you do. I know you're a well-known musician around the area. I mean, I see you all over the place.
It's chronic. It's all I've ever done.
No, there's more to it. I know it.
Well, we talked. You'd mentioned something about how I got into music, and the truth is, that's all I've ever done since I was a kid.
Okay.
In Memphis, growing up there, and my trajectory artistically and geographically too has been from. I grew up in Memphis making music and had a band, and by the time I was a teenager, you could turn on the TV and hear me singing pretty much every jingle that was for any company in Memphis. You could hear me doing that on the radio and TV. And so that's just how I grew up. And then moved. I had a very dear friend of mine who's in the Hall of Fame, Songwriters Hall of Fame, named Dickie Lee, who really helped me make some inroads in Nashville. By the time I was 25 years old, I moved here, to Music Row, where I was a session singer for many, many years. And a songwriter for different companies. My first publisher was Willie Nelson and Hank Cochran. So
nice.
I kind of got thrown in the deep end. So yeah, so I was on Music Row for about 20 to 25 years.
Wow, nice.
And then, so basically, just to keep the good alliteration, I went from Memphis to Music Row to Muletown. We've been in
the three M's.
The three M's, Makky.
The fourth.
That's right. So yeah, but I've been in Muletown for we had figured out that we've been here about the same length of time, about 18 years now, and absolutely love it. Loved it before. It was the fastest growing county in the state, but now it's just booming, which is awesome. Just the vibrancy of our town, and you know, I've said often that I feel like downtown Columbia, where I keep my office and writing space and creative space down there. You know, it's very much like Music Row used to be when I was a big part of Music Row. Yeah, because it's got that same sort of creative energy, but there's also a sense of community that's just undeniable. You know, it's beautiful. That's why we're friends.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, yeah.
And it's just an awesome place to be. I love it here. Yeah.
So going back to, I just want to like dig into the past of it. So you said music's always been a part of your life. Yeah. Was there like a certain time frames or like moments that you remember that like you're like, man, this is what I want to do, or I feel this? Is there anything that comes to mind with that?
You know, it's kind of funny. I've never felt like I really had another choice, because it's just literally how I was raised. My mom, and today would have been her birthday. She passed away about 6 years ago, but she was an incredible piano player and singer, and played all around, you know, Memphis area, mostly with gospel groups, and so that's how I was raised. And
so you were exposed from the beginning to it.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. So, it was just a natural thing. It's like if I'd grown up in construction, you know, I wouldn't know construction.
Yeah, yeah.
And but it's just, you know, just music. It's always been music for me. And a lot of people say, well, what do you do? And my first inclination is to say, well, I'm just a songwriter, because that's really the truth. Everything else that I do, as far as, you know, I have a great band, and we go out and we do dates and things, and I sing, you know, and all that. But for me, all those are avenues for my writing, because that's really how I feel about what I do. I'm just really primarily a writer. I do have other avenues to get the writing out there, but it's really, for me, it's just all about writing and creating.
Is there do you look at writing as like an outlet for certain experiences and stuff, or do you try and like find like how's your writing experience or process kind of unfold?
That's interesting. I think that's changed through the years. You know, when I was doing writing sessions on Music Row for so many years, I would do a 10 o'clock session with somebody, you know, a co-writer, a 2 o'clock and a 6 o'clock, you know, and just do it all the time. And it was more like what I call factory writing, and it was just to try to get a cut on the radio. Yeah. Well, that's just not where my heart and my head are these days. And so for me, when I write, it is normally just a natural overflowing of whatever I'm feeling at the time, but there's a second part of that, and that is I really want to connect with somebody else, and I want them to be able to relate to whatever I'm writing to, and maybe it can, maybe it's just for the pure joy to give somebody some joy.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a little deeper than that. Maybe they can connect on a different level too, and say, hey, you know what, I feel that too, or I have felt that.
I think the beautiful thing about like the songwriting process is that, like you said, like you want someone to connect to it, like feel something. So like in order for that to happen, you have to connect and feel with that in yourself.
Absolutely.
Before that's even out there.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like a beautiful, just overall like picture of it.
Yeah.
Like you just never know who it's gonna reach.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
So you got any exciting projects or anything like that?
Yeah,
I
well,
know you just performed at the Mule House.
I just did, yeah, and actually that was a new music release.
Okay.
Back in the old days, I would have called it a new album release, but of course, music's everywhere now. It's digital, digital and everything else. And primarily, this project is digital right now, but with the plan is to do vinyl with it as well. And but yeah, we did a new music release at the Mule House just this past Saturday night. And it was a very very passionate crowd that was there, and we just had a great night. It was just an awesome place. Number one, it's just a beautiful venue, and they've paid attention to every detail.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Definitely.
it's great. It's a great place for people to come and experience music.
Definitely.
I mean, it's not just you walk in and you're going to hear some. It's an experience.
Yeah.
It's great. So, and the band was great. I'm very, very blessed with just some incredible players that were also on the recording project, which is called Back to the River, because it's kind of a full circle thing for me. It's got some Memphis vibes to it for sure, which is kind of a natural thing for me. Southern soul music, which is what I do, and so it very definitely has a Memphis thing to it. But it's sort of the idea of, it's called Back to the River, and the whole idea is, there's this river of kind of rhythm and soul that's been running through my career all my life, and now it's in Muletown, so it's kind of a full circle sort of deal for me. But anyway, the band is awesome, and just some incredible players that play with me. Guys that, and my co-producer is Mark Beckett, who his dad Barry Beckett was one of the Muscle Shoals Swampers and created the Muscle Shoals sound with some other guys. And
you got some good ears on it.
Yeah, so it's very definitely an authentic sort of Southern soul sort of thing that we do, and it just feels good. I got a couple of horn players. My sax player was Kenny Loggins' player for years, and now he's transplanted, as a lot of people have, to Tennessee from California, and
a lot of people.
Trumpet player. Yeah, a lot of people are moving here, which is great. This is the place to be.
Definitely.
Yeah, but anyway, it's just a great band, and I'm very blessed that these guys bring my creations to life as well as they do. They're fabulous.
That's awesome. Yeah. And you said, so the project's name is Back to the
River?
Back to the
River.
And that's on all platforms?
It's on all platforms. You look it up anywhere online, and you'll find it.
You heard that. Check it out.
Yeah,
Check
please do.
Just one thing that pops in my head with just hearing that title, you said the river kind of represents, that feel of music throughout your life.
That's right.
Now, is there anything that relates to like back to the river? So you're insinuating at all that maybe you kind of got off track a little bit?
That's a good question. I wouldn't say off track at all, but my music's always had a little bit of Southern soul to it, and my particular brand of what I do is more, it's a smoother sort of Southern soul, as opposed to a lot of the guys that I grew up listening to, like Otis Redding and Delbert McClinton, which Mark Beckett, the guy that co-produced my project with me, who's my drummer, his dad, Barry Beckett, produced tons of Delbert McClinton music, and I grew up listening to that. But that's all very gravelly sort of soul music, which I love. But I'm a little smoother, so it's just a Southern soul thing. So previous projects have always had that element to it, but a lot of the previous projects have leaned a little more country in nature, because I've worked in that genre for a lot of years, singing demos for these Hall of Fame songwriters, that wrote country music. So a lot of my stuff has had a little bit more of a country soul, as opposed to we're calling this Southern soul. So it's just a it's a little bit more Memphis-y than it is Nashville. So that's what the Back to the River thing's about.
It gets back to the roots in a sense.
That's right.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I do want to touch on the Mule House a little bit as far as such a venue being in Columbia. Like, how was performing there, like in the town that you live? Like,
oh, I'm just so glad they're here. You know, it's you know, I've had the great opportunity to perform in some great venues through the years, you know, and but not anything right down the street like
that's
this.
What I mean too. It's like
this is like, I mean, it's right up there with you know, I've gotten to perform at the Ryman and all kinds of wonderful places, and this is right up there. I mean, it's like I said, they've paid attention to every detail, and one of those details is just sonically. You know, the audio is amazing.
Yeah, the acoustics in there are ridiculous.
Got a great team. Blair Garner has done a great job, and putting together a great team over there. Those audio guys are great, and it's just a great experience, and some wonderful artists are coming there regularly, which is wonderful for our town as well. But everybody's going to want to go back, and Blair's already mentioned me coming back, and I definitely want to. So
I'm going to have to be there for the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Nice. Well, that's awesome. Like I said, I've seen the pictures and a couple videos from the show, and like I was just like, I love to see that, just like in general. So that's awesome. Yeah. What's one of your favorite businesses in Columbia?
I like them all.
Go ahead. But the one that do you have a strong relationship with?
Oh goodness, yeah. Well,
it could be anything. I mean, like.
Well, okay. So here's the thing. Let me do the disclaimer up front. I have a great love, affection, friendship with the guys at Milltown Coffee, but next door to where my creative space is Tennessee Coffee. And they've been so very supportive to me in my work here in Columbia and in music in general. For me, I love Tennessee Coffee and smoothies. Sometimes I'll go over there in the afternoon and get a smoothie. In the mornings, I'll have meetings over there because it's right next door to where I am. And the coffee is amazing. And so Tennessee Coffee is definitely way up there. I will say that there's the gentleman, Monty Sneed, that owns Caledonian Financial, has been very supportive to me through the years as well, and we've developed a good friendship. So, you know, for me, it's everybody's got great products here. It's just, and I love the fact that we do crafted sort of independent things and not so much chains. You know what I mean? I love that. Don't you love that about our town?
It's funny because, like, and I think it's all kind of starting to change as well, but like, you know, if you get towards the center by the square and stuff, it's like all like independent, like businesses, stuff like that. So you go down like James Campbell's where it's like all the change and corporate, but like, you know, I've heard and seen some plans of them redoing a bunch of stuff down there and making plazas, but it's just wild to like see that's the corporate side, and then here's the mom and pop and like, you know, small businesses, and
absolutely,
and the support is there, like you were saying.
It is, and I just I love that because it breeds more creativity. You know, what can you do that's just a little different than that guy, and to offer to people so that they can have this that they might like. You know, somebody interviewed me recently about the Muletown sound. You know, and I said, look, you know, the deal is there are so many elements to the Muletown sound that somebody will latch onto. That you know, I don't claim to have a hold on the Muletown sound, but I'm just very thankful to be a part of that.
So I'm not sure if I'm familiar with it.
A lot of people talk about the Muletown sound because there's definitely, here's the deal. So we are geographically situated and creatively situated between the grit and soul of Memphis and Muscle Shoals and the cosmopolitan twang of Nashville, right? Right here in Columbia. It's a perfect spot. That's sort of the crossroads of all that stuff. But there's more to it. Yeah. And I just think that that's a beautiful thing. And for me, creatively, it's a perfect spot to be geographically, right here, to do country and soul and all those elements that I do. But there's so many elements to that, you know. But you know, the people throw around, you know, the Muletown sound, which I love. That phrase, because I think
that's like you're talking like
I think we do have something of our own here, but I think there are a lot of elements, a lot of ingredients to that, and I'm just thankful to be a part of that because I just think there's something to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild to see like how much is happening like in Columbia. You know, like we both said, like getting here around 18 years ago. It's like
not much.
It was completely different place, and it's like for me personally, it's something like while growing the brand, it's like I've always wanted to like leave and like I need to be in a bigger city. It's like learning and allowing to be okay with being right here. Yeah. And then once I had that realization, it's like, wait a minute, like it's coming here. Yeah. You know, like there's the talents here and like the venues here now, like the communities here, city infrastructure, like it's there. So it's just kind of like gonna buckle in and kind of just ride with it.
Why would you go anywhere else?
Exactly. I mean, Mule Day, we got Mule Day.
We can do it right here. Yeah, absolutely.
Nice. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, I mean, what's got anything coming plan wise or?
Yeah, well, I mean, mainly right now we're working this new project.
Doing a tour with that at all?
Yeah, no, not really. I'm not really a tour guy. I mean, I will do certain specific dates that that lend itself to getting it out there in strategic sort of ways. But I'm not like on the road all the time and doing that sort of thing. I love being in town, and so I'm actually talking to some people about maybe doing kind of a residency here in town. And filming it. So we'll be, hopefully doing that pretty soon.
That'd be cool.
Yep, been talking about that for a little while, but it looks like it's beginning to be put together. So which is good, especially with the new project that I have, and just like yourself, and I love what you're doing, just shining a light on our beautiful town and the wonderful people here. So
I think more and more there's a need of it.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, like the point of this is to shine light on people and like just give the space and opportunity to talk about like how they've gotten to where they're at or what they've done. And I think it's a beautiful thing. And then the more and more people get to, for instance, like people may walk around the sidewalk and be like, I see that guy Makky everywhere. Like, but this gives them opportunity to get to know you a little bit more.
Yeah. And how can we encourage other people?
Exactly.
That's the deal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it's a random question, but it has to do with worthwhile. But like, what would you describe the word worthwhile to be meaningful to you, or how you would describe it outside of the brand? Like outside of knowing me and like knowing what I've like built with the brand, if you were to look at the word worthwhile, what does it mean to you?
Worthwhile. Well, I can tell you what it means to me, and I love what you do with that brand. I really do. What it means to me may be something different than what it means to somebody else, but for me, the way I was raised and the way that I believe we're all made in the image of God. Everybody. So everybody is worthwhile. Everybody's got a purpose, and it may not be my purpose may not be somebody else's purpose, and that's the beautiful thing about it.
Exactly.
But we've all got a purpose, and so I love your brand, and that's what it says to me, is that we all have a purpose, and we're all worthwhile, and we're all worthy of blessing, but we're also worthy of being able to return that blessing to other people. So I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
I do.
We've been supporting each other really since we met.
Yeah.
It's probably about
5 years ago, maybe
4 or 5, something like that.
Yeah.
It's wild. I mean, so the community here is just phenomenal. I just like, once I decided to do like this spotlight, I was like, man, like I know so many people that are just like interesting and like have done things and experienced things, and it's just like to actually be able to like have you here is a blessing. I mean, like I appreciate it, definitely.
I'm happy to be here. Yeah.
Hit me with a random question. Hit me with any random question.
Let's see. What can I ask you?
It'll open doors and we'll just conversate.
Let's see. Oh my goodness. I didn't think about asking you a question.
I think that might be my thing to like throw people off, because like I said, like I want it to be like conversational, but like that worked. Like, Eric McCandless was the first guest, and like that's literally like me not having the most experience yet. Like I can conversate with people, I can talk, but like thinking about, man, what should I say next, or like that thought process, I was like, you know what, you have a question for me? Because like that makes it changes and it opens the flow, I feel like, and I don't know. So yeah.
Well, what does your brand mean to you? What does worthwhile mean? The worthwhile brand mean to you?
I feel like I've touched on it a tad on like a couple of the previous podcasts so far, but like getting into it, like the start of it was the name. Like my friend Benji, I gave him, we talked about this in the first one, and like he came up with the name and logo. But this was after about 6-month journey of me like reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, and like I was like, I want to do something. I want to figure out something.
I love that book.
It changed my life.
Yeah.
I mean, specifically, I remember the exact paragraph, and I was like, light bulb. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, my life's never been the same since. But it was an idea that went away, just like we all have ideas that go away. Like, I mean, you could have an idea for a song, and unless you write it down and capitalize on it in that moment, it'll probably fade away.
A lot of times they can go away, but they also a lot of times just morph into something else. You know, kind of change a little bit.
But you have to pay attention to it. You have to, like, because if you just never think about it again, well, like you said, it could come just reconnect back to something in the future.
Yeah.
But that happened, and like the idea went away. We were on a trip. We were talking about the idea of something. Ended up meeting with him like a week and a half later, and like I said, the idea had went away. But when I went over and he was like WorthWhile and like showed me the logo, it was like that started the journey of like, what is worthwhile to me? Like, how can I say you are worthwhile if I don't know what that means to me?
Right.
And I mean, I had the same like realization like you were saying, like everybody is worthwhile, and it's like it's a matter of showing them that and telling people that they are. But I had to figure that out myself, which that just started an internal journey for myself, and like it never ends. I feel like we're all on that journey, and it continuously unfolds, and every single day there's something new or something negative or positive that happens, and it's a matter of just keep going forward. So really, I mean, it's come down now to, in the beginning it was like just be you, and like that's all there is, but now I'm really focused on like becoming the best version of you, because it's a process. Because if you just say be you, like that's stagnant. There's no room for that growth. So like, honestly, the years that's gone by, like I've realized that it's a reflection of me. And so like the more I work on myself, the more that the brand will be more suitable and helpful to people. So I mean, really, I guess that, I don't know if that answered your question.
No,
really
absolutely.
Not,
I love that. I love that idea. You know, I would in my older years, I would say maybe even taking it, and I know you agree with this, but even taking it a step further and saying, you're improving yourself every day, but it's also improving yourself so that you can actually improve the lives of others around you. And I think that's so important.
It goes down to you're tying it back to just like the Bible, for instance, like. Unconditional love is something that I've recently just discovered, and it's wild because like I can go around and be like, I love this person, I love this person, but
if they offend you, do you still love them?
Exactly. And like that was a weird like a learning process aspect, and then I realized too that it's like me going through this my own journey and like discovering what self-worth brings to me, like you could see in certain people like, man, it's like that close for him to just get it, like something, but you can't change people.
Right.
And so like the only way, like you're saying, is that the only way you can do that is to be the best version of you, and actions speak louder than words, and you can always still unconditionally love somebody, and that will have that effect.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah.
It sounds so simple, but it's not.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that your particular reasoning for WorthWhile, because I don't know that I ever talked in depth with you about that. So.
And like I said, it's a developing thing. Because like the beginning, it was just vague, like everyone just be you, and then like it's a representation of me. The more I understand myself, the more I understand what the brand's supposed to stand for.
Nice.
And I mean, I'm not trying to sound egotistic in this aspect, but I feel like it's working. I feel like that people like understand what it's here for, and like take it on. I had Kevin on here, and Kevin Latta, and he was saying that same thing. It was just like people in the community kind of support what I'm doing just because of like they almost feel like a part of it, because like you've seen it grow for years, and it's like it's interesting to watch it unfold, and like tying back to the spotlight. It's like I feel like this is what's going to be the thing to get behind.
I think part of getting behind a brand is also connecting with whoever the person is that has that brand. I think people connect with you because you're a light in this community, and I think people are drawn to that. So I think I
appreciate that.
That's the deal. I
appreciate that.
Not that you need to do some crappy brand. The brand is good. But the brand is real good, but I think people are drawn to you and the brand, not just the brand. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's honestly part of why you're here right now.
That's right.
We made that connection. It's like we've known each other, seen each other in passing all the time.
Yeah,
and here we
absolutely.
are.
Yeah,
well,
of course.
Hit me with your favorite color. I'm just going to start hitting you with random questions. I just want to keep the comments.
My favorite color is, it's a weird one. I like bronze.
Bronze? Huh. It's interesting. That's not what I was expecting. I was like,
What were you thinking?
You said like.
I like dark purple too.
I was about to say indigo.
Yeah. I like dark purple. I like bronze though. There's something about bronze that's a little masculine and but I don't know. There's something about it I like. Yeah, I'm not a primary color sort of fella. No,
but that's fair. Think outside the color wheel. Right?
Exactly.
You own anything bronze?
Oh yeah. So I think my keychain is bronze.
Really?
Seriously, no kidding.
I
love bronze. I've got several things that are sort of that color. Yeah.
I need to get you a crown.
No,
we should. But
King
Makky.
I do love bronze though. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I don't know why, but I do.
Mine's pretty bland. It's blue.
It's not bland. It has various shades.
I like sky blue.
Well, there you go.
Sky blue.
It's a happy color.
And maybe it's a like when you look at the sky, that same feeling that maybe
it's happy.
Spread your wings and fly.
Yeah,
type vibe.
nice.
But fly, sky.
Yeah, nice. No, I love that. That's awesome. Yeah, that's good.
Awesome.
I do like dark purple too. I've got dark purple curtains and all kinds of stuff in my house.
That's the color of love.
Is it?
Isn't purple? I think. Well, red. I guess
I'll take
red.
It.
Red would be.
I think it's passion.
Passion.
I think it's passion. Yeah.
Starts with a P.
It works.
Yeah. Nice. Well, I did bring you this gift. I've been part of the thing is I want to give everybody individuality, and it's a one-of-one shirt. So
is it bronze?
I wish I would go ahead and open it, but I was gonna. I actually don't have bronze. I have gold ink. But
do you?
Yeah, I might have to.
It's close.
Surprise you with one now.
Am I supposed to open this now or later?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me do this. All right. Gosh, thank you.
I will tell you the thought process behind the colors, though. Once you see it.
Do you put thought into the colors?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
So,
okay. It's white with your favorite
the
blue on it.
Well, but so like I did a little looking into, like I feel like every time I see you, you're in a blue suit or something.
Yeah, I do wear a lot of blue. I do, yeah.
And I did a little. I was like, let me just scroll through his Instagram real quick and just double check.
This is perfect, and it will go good with a blue jacket, right?
See,
I do wear a lot of blue.
Do a couple shades of blue on there.
There you go. A couple of shades of blue. There you go. My new song. Thank you.
A couple of shades of blues.
There you go.
Blues.
There you go. I do have a song called "Gentlemen Prefer the Blues," which I enjoy.
Nice.
Yeah, awesome. I love that. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're worthwhile. Well, yeah, go ahead and let everybody know again where you can hear your new project. And
oh gosh, well, I mean, anywhere pretty much that you like to listen digitally online.
It's all Apple Music, Spotify.
Apple Music, Tidal, Tidal Music. Those are my favorites, but pretty much anywhere that there's a platform for digital music, it's out there. And if you just look me up, you can actually find previous albums and things as well. Makky Kaylor. You probably have something that says that. But anyway,
okay. We'll put it on there. We'll get you on there.
But you'll find that, and then all the new stuff, which I'm very excited about. And it's the project is called Back to the River, but it's got some great songs on there. A few that I wrote, and then this one is a little different in that there are a couple of covers on there. Delbert McClinton covers, because my co-producer Mark Beckett's dad produced a lot of that stuff, and so we wanted to tie that together, and we did our version of that. And then there's another song on there that I sang the original demo on, because as I mentioned, I sang a lot of demos on Music Row for many years, and I sang that original demo, and then Bonnie Raitt recorded it, and then Randy Travis recorded it, and we were like, we still want to do our version of it. So years later, we decided to do it as well. It's called Valley of Pain, and it's an encouragement for people who need persistence in the valley. So
that's actually that kind of ties in. I had another question pop in my head, but you said music's always been a part of your life, but has there ever been like hardships or time frames where you've like kind of battled with like wanting to go forward with it?
Well, 21 years ago I had open heart surgery, and that knocked me out for quite a few months, but my philosophy has always been build relationships, not be about something for a deal, but build relationships with people. My mom taught me that, and it's just something I've learned all my life. So when I got on the other side of healing from all that physically, it wasn't hard to jump back in the saddle to get back in the studio and do more sessions and write and
kind of
all those things.
Yeah,
it kept me going as opposed to, you know, just bottoming out, because I think if we build relationships and real relationships like friendships like you and I have, you know, when you hit a hard time later down the line, you can say, hey, can you help pull me up? I'll help you.
You don't even have
up.
to ask. Like, that's what you're saying. Like that
Right.
support foundation is
Right.
there.
Right. So yeah, definitely with me, you know, there have been health issues off and on, and a couple of years ago I had a couple of strokes, and that knocked me out for a few months. But I'm so very thankful for every day, every breath, and I'm doing great. And again, it's all about building relationships, you know, friendships like you and I have, and you know, you can count on me down the line. I can count on you, right?
Of course.
So
well,
yeah.
Mackie, I appreciate you.
Yeah,
for your
man.
time very much.
So glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
I'm excited and watch everything unfold and see what comes next with you and music and just Spotlight in general. Love to have you on again in the future. And
Love to.
Cool.
Of course.
Awesome.
Good
Well,
luck with everything you're doing. It's great. I love it.
Appreciate it. Never forget, you're worth it. Thank you for tuning into this week's WorthWhile Spotlight. Our goal is to motivate people to become the best version of themselves possible through the power of storytelling. Our stories are written by the things that we experienced growing up, and these experiences, negative and positive, shape who we are and what we stand for. The beautiful thing about your story is that you get to decide how it's told. So as a diamond in the rough of life, hang tight and let your light shine bright.